Guys, I woke up late. This is 7:24.
Let's go.
Whoa. Yeah, look at me dead in my eyes. I know that you know that a nigga ain't lying. Too much respect. All of my shorty BDs, they know not to try. Too much respect. I used to hand out CDs before they would buy. Whoa. She love me so much, it seems like she buys. Niggas don't know how I live, but that's 'cause they live it to high. Hey. 4L13, stepping on shit to the spot. He brought me the money sealed up, I still had to count it, I cannot just hide. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's that sex. Telling her open a safe. I hate a privileged rapper who don't even know what it takes. The diamonds they hit like a rainbow, that's 'cause the necklace of Frank. Heard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's that sex. Breaking and bending the spines. I hate a privileged rapper that they had to hit 60 times. Niggas be full of excuses, act like they taking their time.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at me dead in my eyes, you see all the times that I had to go slide. Too many sticks, you go to war with whoever ain't never been by. Too many sticks, I was there, your ops, and none of them died. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Why you pull up at 1 in the morning and sit on the edge of the bed? What? Texting emojis, tongue out, eggplant must've went over her head. Catching my side of the studio, make him repeat what he said. Yeah. The Maybach came with a bar. I'm wiping my snipe his ass. He got hit in the head for fraud. Ops get undivided attention. I give them my all. How you come over the spot when you know it's your time of the month? How? Make a distance. See how fast you go from the boot to a blunt. You say she hungry. I gave her lunch. Send me my whole fleet. I don't do back ends and fronts.
Let's talk about like today's exams. The exam/interview for the interns in Abuja, University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, was crazy. Like it was a very huge crowd, and we're like 500 and something for nursing alone. Then you now have pharmacy, radiography, dental therapy, like other courses that were there as well. These people are genius. They were able to handle this crowd by themselves, and we still left around 3. Yes, we left like me. I left there around 3. The screening process was quite tough because we were struggling for space. It started around 7 a.m. this morning. It started around 4. My alarm rang. I remember waking up, turning it off. I'm going back to sleep around that 5. I was thinking maybe 10 more minutes I'll be up. I took a bike from the hotel I'm staying to the hospital, which the hospital won't allow outside bike inside the hospital. So I had to trek from the hospital gate in. Whereas I found a colleague of mine, not just a colleague, she's a friend from school, the same school that I went to. And I was like, how are you? And all that. We exchanged pleasantries and like she didn't know the direction, so I knew where the place was and I directed her and I got a free ride. So I didn't have to trek that far distance after all. Yeah, so I got a free ride to the center where we were doing the screening process and stuff. They were pushing and pushing and pushing. You would like struggle to get in, but at the end of the day, there was no point struggling because everybody is still going to get in. Everybody's still going. You just have to wait your turn. I know people are just you just want to do and come out. But yeah, we went inside. We've done the screening. We came out. What next? We're just waiting for 11 o'clock to write the exam. We're just 3. We're 3 from my school. Didn't know anybody there. I just knew myself and 2 others. We just there. They had a nice time, and that was just basically it. Before we now went to the exams hall, and after we went there, we waited. We waited. The hall was locked, so we had to wait for whoever was with the key to bring the key. Now after. Because I left my bag, my phone and everything in the car, in my friend's car. I did not check time, but I knew that time went because we waited. Someone came on like, why is this? Why is the whole locked and all this? I told these people so. The IT team was supposed to arrange this and this. I'm like, okay, we're going to wait. And we kept waiting. When the key finally came, we sat on our seat. I was in front as usual. We sat in our seats. The space was like one person space in the middle, another person. We spaced and we're giving our answer sheets. with our exams number. You're going to like, it was like a rough, like, is it a raffle, or it's more like a draw. You pick your own paper, like you're just choosing paper and pick, or it should be given to you randomly, just any paper, and that's your exam number. That was what they used to give us exam number anyways. And what again? We waited. We kept waiting for them to like put on the projector. Not just putting on the projector, fixing the projector and all that so that we can use and see. We kept waiting.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
The one of the IT guy was like, they prepared this other room, that's a surgical auditorium, surgery auditorium, that we can use for the exam. And I had to move us. We now went. And we kept waiting. Exam of 20, I mean 30, it's not up to 30 minutes. It's not up to 30 minutes. We had 25 questions, 75 seconds for each question. It's not up to 30 minutes. So, exam of like 25 minutes. We just kept waiting. We kept waiting. So God knows. Finally, the administrative nursing people, that's, I don't know what how they call them. They were just going around checking the department, checking the exam halls and all those other people. Like they were just going around checking the hospital and stuff like that. Now came in, gave us word of advice, and they left. Okay, they were like, we can start. They were like, oh, what are we waiting for? Projector is fixed. We've got an exam paper, we've got an exam number. We're waiting for the question. Now they have to call the person that was with the question, and they were like, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. We kept waiting. Should I keep you waiting? Okay. But we kept waiting.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
So after a while and a half, let's say an hour and 30 minutes, kept waiting. So after all the waiting, someone else came in, some other person rather came in and called the guy. He was like, I'm on my way. And we kept waiting. We kept waiting. Around 2:30, 2:30, to something, when the exam question finally arrived. And when the man arrived, he was like sweating. Do you know what it means to like sweat like you entered water? He was dripping sweat. Handed over the questions to the IT guy, to put in the system so he can project the questions on the board or on the wall for us to use and write the exam. Finally! Now, question 1 threw me off balance. Why? I never knew that respiratory acidosis or alkalosis will come out because I didn't think they would set it. This is nothing for you. You have to read everywhere. You understand? I didn't touch it, but I have a very good knowledge of respiratory acidosis and alkalosis. I knew I had a very good knowledge of that because what I used to answer that question was ROME. That's respiratory opposite metabolism equal. That's how I used to answer my question for question 1. Question 2. I was like, questions did this nothing. The questions were not cheap. I will not lie. They were not cheap. But if you read and if you read extensively, even though you read extensively like I did not expect those ones to come out. They were not cheap questions, but at the same time, it was something that you could use logical reasoning. I don't want to talk about nothing anymore. The exam weak me, but I know that with God, everything is possible because I did my absolute best. I used my nursing brain to answer those questions. Question on shock came out, like all these kinds of shock, hypovolemic shock, etc. Just questions on shock came out. The signs and symptoms of shock. What's the first sign and symptom of shock? Was it bradycardia, tachycardia? That one came out. Glasgow scale came out as well, which I read it very well last night. So there were questions that I related to because I read them. Well, there were questions that threw me off balance, but I was like, ah, even if I didn't read it, at least this one you should know it. But all the same, I leave everything to God because He's the author and the finisher of our faith, and He's the only one that can actually, do miracles and wonders in our lives. So I leave it to God. I have done my best. God take care of the rest. Yeah, that's that. So tomorrow, I'll be leaving a city back to you. All that happens, I will be drinking my tea with some biscuits. Then I'll go to bed. So with that, that's the end of this video. See you tomorrow then. Ciao. Good night.
29